You saw us play basketball.
You saw one of us drink a smoothie that was not refrigerated for 8 hours.
And for the grand finale, one of us suited up as Oswego's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But the fun is only getting started. The boys are back for season 2. Guys in the back, roll the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back live inside the Roker studio for the fastest moving 30 minutes in sports talk. I am Jakob Bradley, joined by Kyle Spisak and Garret Chan. And guys, we are back after covering the semifinals of the Newell tournament last weekend, or last Tuesday actually. But we're back, guys. This is where we belong, in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, we've had about 3 TV appearances altogether before we all finally got back in here to do the show. I cannot explain how excited I am to be here right now.
Legit.
Even just off the first opening right there, our graphic packages, the intro.
We got the new intro music?
We got the new intro music, graphic packages. It's going to be a great season.
Garrett, we ended on such a high last year. At least I like to say such a high.
Yeah.
But Garrett, come on, man. This is exciting. Show some energy.
This is opening day. Unfortunately, MLB doesn't have that. We don't know what's going to happen, but for us, we're excited to be here. We got a lot of stuff planned this season. We can't wait.
Oh, man. It's certainly going to be – we have a lot coming. Starts tonight, but we just have so much. I feel like our creative juices, our brains, they keep cycling. We're going to come up with more and more stuff as the season goes along. But, guys, let's not wait any more time. Let's get right into it. Because let's get season 2 started discussing what's happening in the NFL. Because it was a big day today. There were some big moves that dominated the sports headlines. For more, Kyle, why don't you take it away for us for the first time this season?
Guess I will. So thanks, Jacob. First reported by ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter, the Seattle Seahawks have agreed to send Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos in a blockbuster trade. The Broncos agreed to send quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-rounder for Wilson and a 4th-round pick. Gentlemen, huge move here. What do you guys think about this move?
I mean, the Seahawks get an established quarterback for the first time since Peyton Manning. But when you talk about the AFC West, you have Patrick Mahomes on the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Justin Herbert on the Los Angeles Chargers. And you have Derek Carr. So this is a loaded division with great quarterbacks. Russell Wilson is young. He's hungry. He wants to win. And he joins a team that he actually absolutely destroyed several years ago in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, now let me tell you this right now, right? Perfect trade. I think it's just such a perfect fit for Wilson with the Broncos. But the Seahawks, they did not lose this trade by any means. Noah Fant, I've said this since the start. This dude, when healthy, is a top 5 tight end, and I believe that full-heartedly. This dude is good. Now, the only concern is, what are they going to do with a quarterback? Drew Lock hasn't exactly shown that he's the man in Denver. I don't know how he's going to translate to Seattle. But, man, I don't think they lost. Plus, they're like the new Thunder with all these picks that they picked up as well. They just are going nuts, and this was a great trade for the Seahawks.
Yeah, with Corral getting old, they've got to rebuild, so that's a start for it. But after months of speculation and drama regarding 2021 MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers and his discontent with the Packers front office, it appears that the situation has finally been resolved. First announced on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, Rodgers will indeed be staying in Green Bay, according to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, or Rap Sheet. Rodgers and the Packers have agreed on a 4-year extension worth $200 million, $153 million fully guaranteed. If it's official, Rodgers will become the highest paid player in the NFL and in sports all time. Garrett, what are your thoughts on this move?
I mean, I was shocked to hear about this, considering that there has been so much back and forth between him and the front office. But it's good to see that both sides have agreed, come to good terms. But another thing that came into my mind was Jordan Love. They drafted him because they thought he was going to be back as a backup for Aaron Rodgers in the event that he leaves. So what's going to be his future now in the organization, now that Rodgers is going to be locked up for next 4 years, actually?
Well, I'm just going to spitball. Do you think Jordan Love would be a fit with the Seahawks?
Maybe.
I think there's a possibility, man. Like Jimmy G, when he was the backup for Brady, there's a lot of similarities there with Jimmy G. Just as far as the situation, how he came up under one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I don't know. I could see Jordan Love, maybe not necessarily with the Packers, but going to another team and just being, a star. I mean, he came out of college. They said he was one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, and you know what else they said that about Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't go as high as everybody thought he would either. So Love, I mean, man, I'm a big fan of his, and I could see him going somewhere and really showing the Packers, hey, you missed out.
Yeah, that's a fair point there. But moving on Monday, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley was suspended by the NFL indefinitely through the 2022 season for betting on games during the 2021 season. Ridley only played 5 games this past season before leaving to focus on his mental health. The NFL reported that Ridley placed bets in late November, and some of his wagers did involve the Falcons. After the news broke, Ridley released several tweets indicating that he does not have a, quote, gambling problem. I start with you, Jacob. What was your reaction to this news?
I mean, the first thing, right, and I'll admit it because I like to be honest, is that I laughed. I thought, well, this is an odd story, but as more details came out and you heard, okay, he left the team because of mental health reasons, and then this comes out as a thing, like mental health shouldn't be treated as a joke, period, no matter what sport, whatever you do.
Especially in the NFL.
Exactly. Though. So if I'm not trying to point any blame or anything, but if those things are correlated, and that's why he took time off, maybe, to hide something, that's unacceptable. So Calvin Ridley, I mean, we'll get to a little bit more betting later on, but I just think, I think that, it's unacceptable at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
He said he only bet $1,500, and he ended up losing $11 million.
He can bet on the Falcons losing now that he's not there.
But that does it for a wild week in the NFL. After the break, we'll discuss where things stand with the MLB lockout. Don't go away. We'll catch you after these messages.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups
for half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Oh, I can't stop bumping to that new intro music. Welcome back to Sports Talk inside the WTOP 10 studio. We head over to the MLB straight away as the lockout nears its 100th day. So they're almost on a 100-day streak if you like Snapchat. For more, swinging over to Garrett.
Thanks, Jacob. It has been 1 week since Commissioner Rob Manfred has announced that the first 2 regular season series would be canceled after MLB and the Players Association could now agree on a new collective bargaining agreement. This past Sunday, both sides agreed upon game-changing rules, including banning shifts, implementing a pitch clock, and bigger bases. Earlier today, representatives met for another bargaining session as they continue to argue over several major issues, ranging from a luxury tax to new playoff format. While Manfred expressed optimism that a full 162-game season can be played, ironically, he has stated that more regular season games will be canceled if a deal is not agreed upon tonight. I start with you, Jacob. Will we see baseball in some capacity this season?
I mean, we're going to have to, right? Because in the end, if there's no season played, everybody loses money. There isn't like a side that comes away with more. Nobody makes money. So I think we will. But, I mean, we'll get to it a little bit as well. Like, I mean, banning shifts? Are we really to that point? Yeah. Like, I forget who tweeted it off the top of my head, but somebody was like, now we're just going to have pitchers ban curveballs.
Trevor Bauer.
It wasn't, oh.
There you go.
That's a shame. Yeah. But no, I mean, banning the shift is just that, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, when I read that, I'm not that big of a baseball guy myself. I like to call myself a seasonal fan.
Back a bit.
I like to call myself a seasonal fan, meaning I only watch baseball in the summer when nothing else is on.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, the shift, that's just strategy.
It is.
That's just the strategic point that you do. If you know somebody's a lefty and pulls the ball to the right all the time, load the field that way, and it works out in your favor. Yeah. And I don't see it making the game more fair or anything. I just think it's a dumb rule.
It is. Like, I mean, the one guy, because I saw he was vocal about it, Joey Gallo.
Yes.
He, like, I like Joey Gallo, right? And I'm a Red Sox guy, but I do like Joey Gallo. What, like, does he think his batting average is going to go up? Like, he doesn't hit the ball.
He strikes out a lot.
He does.
So, like, what are we going to shift next for Joey? Are we gonna put the ball on a tee for him? Like, I mean, I get, like, yeah, it takes away, like, hits and, oh, yeah, you can rip one into the hole and the second baseman's right there. But, like, David Ortiz going to Hall of Fame, and they've played every single game with a shift on him, at least in the Red Sox uniform. So, and he's still wound up in the Hall of Fame with a pretty decent average. So you got to learn to go the other way. It's part of the game. They teach you that when you're younger. As somebody that came up and played baseball, one of the big things we got hammered home was how to take the ball the other way. So, and I was 15, 16. I wasn't getting paid millions of dollars to do it. I was getting cut from baseball teams to do it.
Oof.
So, yeah, a little bit of a peel back. But no, I don't understand how, like, why this is a thing. I'm okay with the bigger bases, whatever, the pitch clock, who cares? But, like, why are we banning the shift? It makes no sense to me. I can't even come up with words for it.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like I said earlier, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, the bases, that makes sense because they are very small. You got to figure, they're wearing metal cleats.
Yeah.
If you step a little bit too far to the left, you're cleaning somebody's calf. That's surgery. That hurts.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of pain.
Or the Ruben Tejada thing where he breaks his leg from a slide.
I'll never recover from that.
No, I'm sure you won't.
I remember, if you guys remember a few years, Manny Machado.
Yeah.
He slipped on first base and tore his ACL.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So the bases, that makes sense. But shifting does not.
No.
It doesn't. It just, for me, if anything, it takes away from the game. Because I think baseball, one of my problems with baseball is it's too long of a game. I feel like it drags on too long. And if you get rid of the shift, that's just going to allow them to put the ball and play more and more and give them more and more hits to lengthen these innings.
That's part of the reason why they implemented a pitch clock, because pitchers were taking too long in between pitches just to deliver fastball, curveball, whatever. But I think the pitch clock is not going to be beneficial when you're talking about the later innings when the game actually matters, because you have a tight situation. You need to execute the right pitch, the right time. And if you don't not have that 30 seconds, whatever, to be able to decide what pitch you're going to throw, it's not going to be great for the game. But I understand that from a pace standpoint, that the game needs to speed up. There's not a lot of action. I had a speech about this.
I know you did. Well, Garrett, I want to pose you a question, right? Because we hear so often that baseball wants to go back to that golden era of the 90s, where everybody was hitting homers and it was going nuts. Now, obviously, the big thing that was used during that point was performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Those are outlawed for the moment. They might not test them if this new CBA comes to light. But do you think the way that they're trying to now shift the advantage to the hitter, is this MLB's way of kind of saying we want to see more home runs, we want to get back to that golden age, without actually saying we want to go back to that golden age?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it stretches all the way back to them choosing the baseballs.
Yeah.
They want to see more offense.
It's more exciting, isn't it?
Yes. The sport has been deprived of its action and everything that baseball fans love. I just hope that we get to see more action, but MLB is saying, you know what, here, we're going to do all of this stuff. You guys do whatever you want, and I just don't like the way this game is progressing, and I don't like how this lockout has destroyed MLB's popularity and overall everyone's favorite pastime, basically.
Yeah, and I genuinely believe there's so much more in baseball that needs to be addressed rather than should we have a shift? Like, why is the CBA not helping out more than that needs to be helped out?
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is there even going to be a season?
Not are we gonna
shift or not?
Exactly. Well, hopefully, that'll do it for our coverage of the MLB lockout. We'll see. We might have more coverage for you in 2 weeks. But following the break, we're going to move to everyone's favorite segment. It's back. It's Kicking It with Kyle. We'll see you after this.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Major Discussions is the new show that explores the stories of students right here on campus. I personally came here to SUNY Oswego for the broadcasting program because I love to hear people's stories and to do work just like this. The Ron Burgundy flute solo as well. Welcome back to Sports Talk here at WTOP 10. It's been a while, and we know you missed all of us at home, so without further ado, let's move on to Kicking It with Kyle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the best part of everybody's Tuesday. It's time for Kicking It with Kyle. Currently, there's not any games to recap on or report on, so today we'll be playing Kyle's Great Debate. So let's not waste any time. Here we go. Fellas, question number one. In your personal opinion, who has the worst contract in sports history?
Well, I'll start. I got to go just because it brings me joy. Jacoby Ellsbury of the New York Yankees. Only because, right, as a Red Sox fan, he was my guy. So he was like the dude. I wore number 2. I mean, it was partially because of Jeter, but Ellsbury wore 2 as well. And, man, when he left to go to the Yankees, a young Jacob Bradley was heartbroken. And to see him go to the Yankees and fail, I don't ever wish failure upon anybody, but man,
wow.
Oh, I was happy with that. It was very nice. So yeah, and the Yankees had to eat that one, so I'll take that as my worst contract.
Garrett?
Diehard New York Mets fan here, and it's no secret that Bobby Bonilla has arguably one of the worst contracts in sports. I mean, 5 years, $29 million, which was the highest pay for an NL player at that time. $29 million at that time. Imagine that to what players are making now. But every July 1st, he receives less than $2 million. And until 2035, it's going to be like that. So whoever decided to do that is an absolute insert word here.
Well, moving on to our next topic. Who is your all-time starting 5?
For the NBA?
Yes.
I'm going at the point, Magic Johnson. At the shooting guard, at the 2, we're going Michael Jordan. Then we're going LeBron at the 3. And then I'm going to break the rules a bit. I'm going to put 2 centers. I'm going to go Hakeem the Dream at the 4 and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the 5. I don't think anybody's beating this team. Some of the greatest scorers, some of just the greatest overall players. I mean, come on now, Garrett. What do you got?
So before we went on the air, I got a lot of heat about this.
Still going to.
It's unbelievable. At the point, we got Magic Johnson. Then we have Kobe.
Wow.
LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Shaq. Shaq is obviously one of the most dominant centers. LeBron is LeBron. Tim Duncan, I believe, is the greatest power forward. Magic, greatest point guard. And Kobe, he works well with Shaq.
Yeah,
How many championships did they win?
So what, is Jordan your Lou Will? Is he coming off the bench?
I can't deny. I think Garrett's got a strong lineup right
Thank
there.
you.
I think he's got a pretty strong
Thank
lineup.
you.
Yeah, but not better than mine because I got Jordan, Chris Paul, Shaq, Giannis, and vintage
He started
Carmelo.
watching the NBA in like 1990.
Blasphemy.
That's the farthest back your record goes. It's like 2K6. Like that's as far back as you
I could have put in Bill Russell for you.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, but
moving on to our next question. Are motorsports a sport or not? And I'd like to preface, is it its own category or sport, or is it just under sports?
Now, generalized topic, then yes, it's a sport. But if we're looking, should it be put into like the same like level as like baseball, basketball, hockey, even to like an extent like lacrosse? Yeah. No, because I mean, I don't want to say anybody can do it because they truly can't. Like it does take a skill, but man, I don't think it is, and it's not just because I don't really watch it, but it is. I get it's such a huge phenomenon, but it's more of like an event. It's more of like a big spectacle rather than an actual sport.
Well, you talked about the big spectacle. Big spectacle. I can't even say that.
Words.
So I said motorsports, yes. Traditional sports, yes. NASCAR F1 track racing. You're talking about traveling at a high speed. You're talking about the amount of concentration and ability to do what you do in that time frame. I mean, that's hard to do. Not everyone can do that. So that's when you talk about sports, you got to think about, can everyone do that? And if you can, do you get to pay the big bucks for it? So there you go.
Yeah, I personally say no. I classify it as its own as motorsport because of the fact that it does not require the human body to do it. But moving on to our last and final topic, should NCAA athletes be allowed to gamble? Jacob, take this one away.
An appropriate question. I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say no, but for active players only. Coaches, yes, you can gamble as much as you want because in the end, it's up to the players to make the best decision. That might be controversial. Pete Rose, put him in the Hall of Fame. Garrett, who you got?
I agree with the Pete Rose sentiment. I also say no, just because we saw this with the NFL. We talked about it before, Kevin, really. You ruined the integrity of the sport by betting on an outcome, expecting something to happen. Maybe you decide to miss a basket or not run 10 yards just because $50,000 are on the line. So, and especially in a nationwide tournament like March Madness, who doesn't love March Madness? Yeah. You can't have that happen.
No. See, me personally, I have to disagree with both of you. I think they should be able to bet because my example is this. If you are, say, a track runner, right? If you run track and you want to place for a D3 school and you want to place a bet on the NCAA tournament, you legally cannot. The NCAA will not allow you to bet, even though you are a track athlete at, say, Oswego State here. You cannot place a bet on a March Madness bracket because you have ties to the NCAA. I think that's ridiculous. I compared it on my radio show to Amazon not allowing its own employees to buy from Amazon. That's why I labeled it as, because you're not allowing people who make you money to make money off of you.
Fair enough. I think we should talk about this a bit more somewhere else.
Yeah,
maybe.
We might have to.
We might talk about that in a little bit. Who knows?
Maybe.
Never know.
We might a little bit.
We'll be back in a minute.
Maybe.
Athletics. Aaron, there are 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Welcome back to Sports Talk, live inside the Al Roker studio. And guys, before the break came, I was a little sneaky.
Yes, you were.
I was a little sneaky. I was a teasy boy. I was a little teasy boy, but I came up and just wanted to let everybody know 30 minutes isn't enough for you to get our lovely voices into your homes.
No.
So guess what? Guess what, Garrett? Guess what, Kyle?
What?
We're going. What is it called? Uncensored. It's called Uncensored. We're going uncensored with a podcast. That's what that is. I should have just said that to begin with. But yeah, we got a podcast going on, Garrett.
Yeah. I mean, we already talked about it. There's a lot that happens in sports, but we can't cover it in a 30-minute show. So having this podcast will allow us to really delve into these topics, and also for you guys at home to listen, to learn more about ourselves. On the podcast, we actually have a new segment called Sports Talk Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. The three of us choose one person or thing. It does not have to be sports related. And you guys can go on our Twitter, sportstalk_Oz, to make your picks.
I thought I was going to do that. I thought you said I was going to say that.
Oh.
It's okay.
You want to say it now?
I'll explain it a little bit deeper, man. Yeah, this is not my idea. I stole it from it's not our idea. I presented it to these guys because I stole it from other podcasts, because that's what you do in life. So what it basically is, we're all going to nominate something. Whenever this podcast gets released, because we've already filmed one. So now it gets released. Keep an eye on that sportstalk_Oz Twitter handle.
Maybe specifically tonight.
Maybe tonight.
Yes.
Might be tonight. We'll see. You can vote on what we want, what we think is going to be the in the Hall of Fame. So Kyle, you nominated something. We don't want to reveal it because, listen to the podcast, please. I nominated something. Garrett nominated something. Now it's up to all of you at home, because we like to get our audience involved.
Yeah.
So go ahead and vote. Please vote, and seriously, please vote, because if you don't vote, this segment is pointless. We need at least 3. So if there's 4 of you out there watching, please hop on Twitter and pick something. Kanaya's got us behind camera 1.
Thank you.
Please vote, because we need this. It would help a ton. But guys,
please do not make us look like losers.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
We have to look like we have a few friends.
40,
help us out a little bit. Our
40,
parents watch us.
We're gonna all retweet it too. So if you follow either any of us, we'll be good. But before we go, I'm gonna wrap this up by saying we have a nemesis at the station. It's the Laker Connections, the boys from Laker Connections. So we're saying, please notice us, send us a statement, do something. We dare you. We dare you.
You are the Red Sox to our better Yankees.
We dare you to mention us. But guys, what an episode. That does it for us. Season 2 is coming up. We've got a lot more coming up for you. So please, we'll see you in 2 weeks for Sports Talk.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night. The